The mission of the Children's Museum is to transform communities through innovative child-centered learning. And to do that, the Children's Museum Board of Directors and its advisors really looked at the needs of Houston and focused on 6 priorities. The City of Houston has one of the largest child populations anywhere in the world. Of the 5-county area that makes up the greater Houston area, we have 1.5 million children, and that has been growing at about 15% per year for the last 10 years. In light of that kind of expansion, the museum doubled its size in March of 2009. We had been told for years that we were 30% over our capacity 1 out of 3 days of the week, but we had chosen to focus instead on programming and outreach to the community rather than expanding our building until the point it just became critical. We believe parents must be actively engaged with their children's learning. All of the indicators for the last several decades have shown that active parental engagement in a child's life is the key determination between the child's success in school and later in life. And to that point, the museum has 10 programs that we run both here at 1500 Benz and also in the community that directly intervene with parents, model behavior for parents, and give them the kind of information and training that they need in order to be really effective parents. We believe the 20% of their day that they spend in classrooms throughout an active school day is insufficient to learn what they need to learn and to engage in the kind of learning skills that they need. So the programming that the Children's Museum does is to address the other 80% of the day, but we make sure that our programming is in sync with what the schools are teaching. And we ensure through evaluation of all of our exhibits and programs that we are encouraging the learning outcomes we plan to provide. Now, if our feedback indicates that we're not getting the results we intended, we improve the program and the exhibit until we do. And this goes on year after year, week after week. We evaluate everything that we do. Houston's children are disproportionately low income, largely because people are coming here from other places in the United States and literally other places throughout the world because they believe by working hard enough here in Houston, the families will be able to become more prosperous than the places they left behind and that they will be able to literally give the American dream to their children. And so the Children's Museum has 5 after-school programs and 7 early childhood programs that we are delivering to ensure that no child because of income is left behind with the programming that we make available. Over 50% of the people who come to the museum receive free or significantly reduced admissions fees, and we have relationships with about 640 social service agencies throughout Houston. It's everything from homeless shelters, women's shelters, food banks, and it's also faith-based institutions where the museum is deploying systems of free tickets. If you have a health benefit card from the City of Houston, State of Texas, you're going to receive free admission to the Children's Museum because we want to get rid of any barriers that prevent families from accessing the museum at their convenience. We have one of the most multicultural, multilingual populations in the United States. In fact, census data shows that we have about 45% of all residents in Houston, and these are residents with children under the age of 5, speaking a language at home other than English. Of course, the largest second language in Houston is Spanish, and so the museum is committed to providing all of its programming, including its website and even its mobile website, and all of its labeling and all of its publications in English and Spanish. 40% of our staff on site at the museum at any one time are fluent in English and Spanish because we're delivering programs that should be culturally sensitive to the way a family learns, to what their background and their interests are, as well as the data that we're presenting. One of the most important community priorities is the competitiveness of our future workforce. We are promoting workforce preparation aggressively and have been for years because we focus not so much on the content of exhibits, but instead on building the 21st century skills that are so important to children and really to all of us as we enter the 21st century. We need to be self-motivated learners. We need to be confident learners. We need to have the basic skills to analyze and to acquire data, to be able to interpret the data and to ask questions. We need to have excellent communication skills. And the kinds of activities that we have at the Children's Museum and the kinds of programming that we're delivering in the community achieves these very important goals. And in fact, we have been working very closely for the last several years with an initiative among museums nationally that is focusing on blended learning. Blended learning is the ability to take smartphones, the kind of technology that is becoming universally available to people through their smartphones, their iPads, whatever the technology base is that is most affordable and easiest to use, and demonstrating to parents the availability of information that in turn can be used to very effectively teach children, to answer their questions, and to help parents become better parents as they customize their answers to their children's questions about information ranging from A to Z. And the Children's Museum is being seen as a pioneer not only in the programming to deliver the general 21st century skills, but also these concepts of blended learning. We believe that Houston has a bright future. The people who are determined to give their children the foundation that they need to be successful at learning throughout life are here, and it's an honor for us to serve their hopes and dreams and the vision of those who invest in the museum to make all of this possible.